I can't tell you the number of times that I have clients come to me, and unfortunately it's a little bit too late for me to help because they did that immediate response themselves. They go, "Oh, I don't need a lawyer. What? The licensing board is here to help me." Similar to a police officer, although they're not going to lie to you like a police officer will. Similar to a police officer, they are not your friend. And depending on the political climate of that agency, I've seen different agencies, they get a new head and all of a sudden they're sniffing. They want to make their mark on that group of licensees, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a nurse, CPAs, they all kind of generally operate the same in terms of the way regulatory licensing works, and they all want to make their mark on their constituency.
Well, that's discouraging.
Maybe I'm jaded and I've been doing it too long.
No, I've probably experienced no. It's interesting. It's discouraging, but it's also interesting. And I guess you're kind of talking about human nature. They want, they have these careers and they want to make their mark in the world, and so they see it as I'm doing the righteous thing. I'm sure that this all is, or sometimes there's a power thing, isn't there?
Absolutely, absolutely. Recently, I mentioned the paramedics, and there was a new board that came in a couple years ago, and I got half dozen cases kind of back to back to back to back of just maybe it was a medical error, maybe it was and the licensing board was coming down on people where I had seen doctors make far more catastrophic mistakes. And these are human errors. I mean, people are going to make mistakes. That's what insurance is for. That's why you train these individuals, provide remedial measures, but to like yank somebody's livelihood away is a pretty harsh remedy for what is, one individual I'm thinking of in particular. He had worked as a paramedic. He was an Army vet. He was in the Army for 20 years, and then he joined the Baltimore City Fire Department, and he lost a patient in his care. And it was a mistake. It wasn't anything intentional. It wasn't anything malicious. And frankly, the patient had a lot of complicating medical issues anyway. And the licensing board, even before the autopsy and the toxicology reports came back, they tried to yank my client's license. And ultimately, my client decided to retire rather than fight it because he had 20 years in the fire department, but he had an absolutely impeccable record with the Baltimore City Fire Department. And, they chased one good paramedic out the door. So it was really, that particular case really bothered me, just for this guy and how hard he had worked and served the community his whole life.